All right, one of the main issues that will be discussed in the forum, as the managing directors of the World Economic Forum had said just a few minutes ago, there will be issues on power. For example, power being very expensive in the Philippines compared to our Asian neighbors. There's also an issue of connectivity. Now living in a global world where everybody is interconnected, how is the Philippines faring in terms of connectivity compared to our Asian neighbors, with South Korea, for example, being known as literally the Wi-Fi country? We have with us this morning a Filipino we can be proud of. He's a young global leader like myself of the World Economic Forum in 2010. He is a success in Silicon Valley, one of the Filipinos that have made it big there. Winston May is with us this morning.
Good morning, Karen. How are you?
And you will be moderating a session later on today on technology.
Technology. So it's sessions in Connect on Technology, and we'll be talking about the role that technology plays in disaster preparedness.
All right, let's put this to a level that we can all understand in layman's terms. Let's be honest. How does the Philippines fare when it comes to technology?
Well, I think we have a long way to go. The Philippines is gifted with extremely good human capital. We have engineers and scientists that are great collaborators. So we naturally have become extremely good in industries like the BPO and in software. But to me, what's interesting is that we haven't really begun to tap yet our opportunity in our creative talent here in the Philippines. And I think we have achieved a lot, but we have a long way to go in terms of growing that even better.
All right. You had mentioned, yes, two major sectors in terms of growth in the last year was coming from the BPO sector and OFW remittances. But is the BPO sector sustainable to rely on?
Well, I think it sustained itself to a point this year, and it's a base that's important for us to keep increasing in terms of its growth. But what the BPO sector has done, and in general what the technology-enabled human capital industry has done to the Philippines, is to give us a platform to do even more.
Yes.
In innovation enterprises like software and product development, and also in an emerging creative economy that we think the Philippines is in great position to be in, and we're going to explore a few more of that in the sessions with the WEF.
Your session later on is technology in disasters. We had just experienced Typhoon Haiyan, or Yolanda as we call it locally. Now tell us more how this will be incorporated to your session later on, and who are the panelists?
Well, the leap forward we have in economics is not going to be felt by the country if we keep having disasters and we're not able to handle this very well. So the session this afternoon, we have an esteemed panel from the top technology companies in the world, at British Telecom, IBM, SAS, that's going to come and talk about the role of technology in disaster, not just during disaster, but in preparation of disaster and the eventual recovery of it.
All right. Now, not just with disaster. Has the Philippines frankly invested enough in terms of technology? You have India. India has a strong BPO sector, but clearly they've already grown to related sectors when it comes to BPOs. In fact, higher end sectors of the BPO market. Have we invested enough as a country, Winston?
We have not invested enough, frankly. The issue is that in technology, there is substantial investment that needs to happen, not just in capital, which is badly needed, but also business infrastructure in general. It is very hard for a Filipino businessman to start a small business, especially small businesses that rely on technology, which needs capital, needs flexibility in how it uses its labor force. So we have a long ways to go there, but we're looking at it now, and hopefully we can address it.
And just a little history on Winston. He's somebody you can all relate to. Well, he graduated here in the Philippines. He actually graduated from La Salle, moved to the United States, started working for Intel at a very young age, and then after that sold his first company to IBM. And after that, you started to make your own startups, and I wanted to say you sold it for like $100 million. But you're one of very few success stories with startups.
Well, the success stories are scarce because we haven't really spent effort to build products here in the Philippines. Our technical talent are being used to build products for others.
For other companies abroad.
Other companies abroad. And I think in order for us to establish ourselves, to distinguish ourselves as having made it in the technology space, we have to build our own products here. It needs to be branded, made in the Philippines. It needs to be clearly articulated to be engineered by Filipino.
Yeah.
And we need more of those. So I think there's a lot of awareness now that we need to do this.
Yeah.
There's a lot of interest both in government and in the private sector to understand what is the necessary infrastructure to make that happen.
Yeah. Now, one of your companies, ironically, is based in Cebu. Many people may not think. Many people think of Cebu as a very creative place. Furniture is made there, accessories, but many may not know that a lot of startups are actually coming from Cebu. Tell us about some of the products that you have seen that are already being developed in Cebu that can help in technology, disaster preparedness, and the economy.
Well, what's amazing in Cebu is the great diversity of talent. We have software development firms there in Cebu. A lot of the Japanese companies, in fact, outsource their engineering of their products in Cebu. I built Morph Labs, one of my companies that I built in Philippines, in Cebu. And what is interesting about Cebu are people are focused, right? They want to build products and they put a lot of efforts to do that. The diversity makes it even more interesting in that you have people in Cebu that are great at designing furniture and fashion.
Yeah.
But also what's fascinating that we just recently discovered is Cebuanos have this innate capability to have social initiatives and awareness that they just jumpstart on their own. And so
that's very interesting.
Yeah.
Now, we've spoken about the private sector harnessing creative talent when it comes to technology. What is the government's role? Has the government supported it enough? What should the government do?
Well, the government has been very open in understanding what they can do to help harness this feature. I think what's important now is the private sector to describe to government what is needed.
Okay.
The government, in this particular specific issue of enabling an infrastructure for innovation and creative economy, we have PESA. It's a great example that the government has done to improve our exports and bring foreign direct investments in the Philippines. What we're going to ask the government is to expand that even more, to accommodate small businesses and to accommodate high-risk innovation and creative businesses.
Right. What kind of investment does the country need to build up in terms of technology infrastructure to really make sure we're the next Asian miracle?
Well, a few things.
Yeah.
It always starts in education. It always starts with education. We've always prided ourselves with having great educational capabilities in the Philippines. What we haven't done is up-level that to the high science. Science, technology, education needs to improve quite a bit here in the Philippines.
So it's not the focus of the Philippine education.
Not quite the focus yet, right? So we need to improve on that. The other aspect that we need to improve is to encourage people to take risks and be entrepreneurs and build companies. And in order to make that happen, we need to make the business climate friendly for small businesses. We need to make the climate friendly for foreign investments to invest in high technology here in the Philippines. And we need to showcase our great creative talent here in the Philippines.
As a young global leader, Winston has traveled many parts of the world. You were at the World Economic Forum in Myanmar. Now tell us, should we fear Myanmar?
We shouldn't fear Myanmar. we have great talent here in the Philippines. We have great position in the ASEAN region. As the ASEAN region integrates within itself, the Philippines is uniquely positioned to have the human capital to address what's up-and-coming digital age economy. So we're in the best position to do that. We have the most number of engineers that can execute on it. We have the most number of Filipinos that understand the global market within the ASEAN region. And we should take that leadership position and accelerate it even more.
Yeah. Now, on a more personal note, you have your own company. In terms of the ease of doing business in the Philippines, the World Economic Forum Index, we're number 100 out of 189. In Asia, we're number 6 out of 10.
Well, we have a long way to go.
Yes.
And so entrepreneurs...
What would you want changed since you put up your own business?
Well, I think of 10 years in trying to do business here in the Philippines, I've realized that things will move slowly. But at the same time, if you continue to have that impatience, there are ways to accelerate certain things. So for instance, while it may be hard in general to form businesses in the context of the Philippine capability, you could look for opportunities like PESA. Right? Like the ability of PESA to adapt itself to small businesses, the ability to adapt itself to high-tech businesses or creative businesses. So we just need to be a little bit more creative. It needs to be private-led, but very involving the government as much as we can, and showcasing best practices around the world. And this is the reason why we invited the new champions of the World Economic Forum to come to Cebu and have this dialogue.
Yeah. All right. Now, another part of the discussion in one of the sessions would be the limitation on foreign ownership. Just very quickly, broad strokes. is this a hindrance to the Philippines actually moving up to a whole other level? We have restrictions in land, foreigners, also restrictions in certain businesses.
Well, certainly is a limiter to our progress. Land, for instance, we need to have scale in any business that we need to do. And if we have restrictions on our ability to use land, then we're limiting our ability to deliver food and agricultural products. Foreign ownership, especially when we're trying to take risks, we need capital. And we need investors to feel very comfortable that they can, that there's return on investment that they're going to do so that they'll take higher risk investments in the Philippines. We still have a long ways to get there.
All right. Winston Damarillo, Young Global Leader, thank you so much for coming to the show this morning. You are watching the ANC special coverage live here at the Makati Shangri-La Hotel. When we get back, we'll be showing you our interview with Finance Secretary Cesar Purisima and how important is the World Economic Forum to the Philippines when we return.